believe the day that I had about 3 days worth of footage that I was sitting down to edit, only to discover that my mic had not been plugged in all the way, and so none of the audio from anything I recorded is usable. Oh, and I'd recorded a lot of stuff. Hi, Pepper. Well, at least this is going to be a good continuity thing. Yes, I know. Can you believe all of this work that I did for naught? Huh? It's fine. A lot of the B-roll footage that you will be seeing in this video is from the last couple days, because that doesn't need whatever I recorded talking-wise. But I did talk a lot, and I'm just sad to have lost it all. But that's okay, because sometimes things happen. Let's see, this past Friday, on the 22nd, I had my big clearance sale, and it went, frankly, better than I could have ever imagined. I got just over, I think I ended the weekend with like just over 900 orders, which is a lot, but it'll be fine. People will be patient. I'm just gonna tell myself that. So that went very, very well. And I'm so grateful because I worked so hard on it. I basically spent the last 2 months just like totally redoing my website, making sure all of my listings were up to date and everything. And actually, this is a very good segue into thanking the sponsor for this video, because the sponsor for this video is Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform where you can build a website, portfolio, online store, blog, any kind of website that you have been looking to make. You can build it on Squarespace, and they make it very easy to do so. I've used Squarespace for the last, 4 or 5 years to, I think 4 years. Yes, 4 years to run my business. And it's been dormant for the last couple years. So I basically spent the last 2 months completely redesigning the whole thing. I changed templates. I got into every corner of said template and customized it. I was able to update all of my product listings. They have these new fulfillment profiles that I was able to assign to all my different products to make shipping less of a headache for me and for my customers. Lots of great analytics. They also integrate with stuff like ShipStation, Pirate Ship. So as far as shipping software goes, makes it very easy to fulfill orders and print out shipping labels and everything. And redesigning my website was very easy and very fun. I love using Squarespace, and I have loved using them. And if you yourself have been looking to maybe start an online store, build a portfolio, a blog, or whatever it is, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you are ready to launch that website and sort of get it out onto the World Wide Web, you can go to squarespace.com/CheyenneBarton for 10% off your first purchase. So thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring, and also thank you to Squarespace for hosting my website, where my clearance sale went very well. I'm so happy. I'm sold out of almost everything now, I think, which is also wild, but that was also the point. My point was to sell out of almost everything in order to get a lot of this stock out of my apartment. Let's see. I'm focusing both on packing those orders slowly but surely. I'm also kind of figuring out like my new packing process. I will have a packing vlog because I know that people like packing vlogs. So I will have like a packing orders vlog. Worry not. That's also going to be combined with some like shop prep footage that I have. So in the meantime, what I need to do, I have some crochet stuff to work on, which is what you and I will be doing, which is what you and I have been doing the last couple days. So let me talk you through these projects. So first off, my mother's birthday is October 4th, which is next Wednesday. For her, I'm making her a poncho. I'm making her kind of like, she wanted not a poncho that sort of comes, yes, Pepper. She didn't want a poncho that like comes down to a point. She wanted one that was a little more modern, and so one that's kind of like more of a rectangle where it kind of drapes flat across the bottom. So I'm making that for my mom. And then my boyfriend, Aries, his birthday is on Sunday, and I am making him a blanket. And oh my God, also Aries, if you're watching this, don't. You can't watch this until after your birthday. Please, please. Because he doesn't know what I'm making him. But I'm making him a blanket. It's this thing where, because my mom lives out of state, it's tricky knowing how to prioritize, and also I'm closer to finishing my mom's project than I am Aries, so I'm like, how do I split my time between these? But we're gonna figure it out. I'm going to show you my mom's project first, and I'm gonna talk through all my specs and stuff. So let me stand up. So I did just attach a new ball of yarn to this. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of walking around with the ball of yarn. But so as you can see here, this is my mom's project. So it's quite literally 2 rectangles, but instead of making 2 separate rectangles and then seaming them together, I decided to do just like with a little neck hole in the middle. So this is what it looks like right now. Let's see. Oh God. Okay, let me take off my hat for this. So this is what it looks like right now. As you can see, it's kind of got this nice drape to it, and we're making progress. We're making progress on the back. I also know that after blocking, this will grow a little bit, which is the idea. It's cotton. I'm using the Blue Sky Fibers organic worsted weight cotton in the color Bone. It is their undyed cotton, and this is the softest cotton I've ever worked with. It is so plush and like lovely and beautiful. My mother has a wool sensitivity, and so she was like, no wool, and I was like, okay. She also lives in Texas, which is hot, and so even for something like this, I want it to be very breathable, so I decided on cotton, and that was also kind of what my mother requested. I did try a cotton bamboo blend, but I did not like how slippery the yarn was, and also I wasn't a huge fan of how shiny it was, and I don't think my mom would have been either, so I returned that yarn and went to a local yarn store and found this stuff. I actually had to order more online because I needed more skeins than they had available in that store, but that's all right. And it's so soft. I'm using what is basically a half double crochet V-stitch. This is also what I used for my scarf that I showed in my last video. I learned this stitch from a video by Hooked by Robin. I will have that linked in the description. I basically knew the style of the poncho that my mom wanted, and I've been crocheting for I've been crocheting for almost 3 years now. And I am still very beholden to patterns. I don't have a lot of confidence crocheting without them, and that is something that I would really love to work on. I would like to trust my crochet sensibilities more. So I sort of spent some time looking around on YouTube. I found this one tutorial for a kind of poncho similar to this style. I will also have that linked below. And I was like, oh, okay, so the shape that I want is quite literally just 2 rectangles. I was like, ideally, I don't want to have to seam these together if I can avoid it. So I just kept researching and just looking at different patterns essentially for guidance. And I found a handful of different ponchos where essentially what it is that it's like a rectangle, but kind of when you get to the center point, you just leave a hole for the head and then just keep stitching onto the back. And I was like, easy. So that's what I did. So I started with a foundation single crochet row of 107. So that's instead of doing a chain and then working to the chain, I just did foundation single crochet. And I did 107 of those because I knew this took a little bit of mathing on my part. For this pattern, for this stitch pattern, you need the starting chain is an even number, and then you skip the first chain, meaning that you are actually working into an odd number of chains because you want stitches in the first and final chain of the row. Yeah, because I'm skipping every other stitch, and so I need an odd number to work into the first and to the last. So I did 107, and that got me to about 38 inches wide, and then as I've worked on it, because foundation single crochet is quite stretchy, it's actually stretched to be about 44 inches, which is awesome. And then during blocking, I'll probably stretch it another inch or 2. And then, so I basically just worked that up until it was about, maybe 22 inches tall? I think it's 57 rows. I will probably need to recount. But then I just did a couple rows of single crochet. At the top, I did 2 rows of single crochet. In the 3rd row of single crochet, I did a chain going across the center to create the opening for the neck hole. I just did 1 chain to 1 stitch. I just did a 1-to-1. And then I did 2 more rows of single crochet. And then I started again on the half double crochet V-stitch repeat. Hi, baby. And so now I'm just working my way down the back. And so pretty much this is all I need to do. It's just essentially this it's a 1 row repeat. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then at the end, after I finish all these rows, I will do 1 row of single crochet to match the front, and then it'll be done. And then I just have to weave in my ends and block it. So that's my mom's, which again, pretty bog standard, pretty straightforward. Been working on this the last couple days, trying to make more progress. Oh, also, I do have footage of this. I'll show this in a bit. But I also, because this yarn comes in hanks, I've been winding it into little cakes, and I love winding yarn. It's so fun. And yeah, so I think that I'm going to plug along on this for a while today. See, I can make some more progress on it. Double check my row count. And I guess while I'm here, oh, and also for this project, I'm using a 6mm hook. I found that that sort of walked the line between the stitch not being too open, but also giving me quite a bit of good drape. And again, after I block, I know the drape is gonna be magnificent, because it already is. Pepper, hi, can I help you? Hi. You know, you're such a ham, do you know that? You're my little ham, huh? Yeah, I know. She's also impossible to crochet with because she's always getting all up in my business, huh? Aren't you, baby? Now for Aries, like I said, I'm making him a blanket, and for this blanket, I am following the Bradley Afghan pattern. Do not know, ma'am. For this blanket, I am following the Bradley Afghan pattern from TL Yarn Crafts. Which is essentially just like a linen stitch triangle blanket that you can make as big as you want. So I initially was going to do a 40 by 50 because that's a pretty good throw size. But the thing is that Aries is quite tall. So I wanted the blanket to be big enough to fit both him and his dog underneath it. So I'm doing, ideally, I would love it to be 50 by 60. I don't think it's going to be 50 by 60. I don't think I have enough yarn to get that size, so maybe it'll end up being more like 50 by 50, which is also fine. But this is what I'm working with. Let me hold it up from the bottom so I can hold it kind of all the way across. So this is what I'm working with. So like I said, it's essentially a triangle, and then you decrease on the sides so that the sides remain nice and straight. This is a pattern from Sony, like I said. And again, because it's linen stitch, very repetitive, very easy. I have trouble usually with stitches that are one row repeats that just go back and forth, particularly for stuff like blankets, just because it's such a long project, and I find that I lose interest if the stitch isn't fascinating. It has to walk this line between being interesting enough that I don't lose interest in the project, but also being simple enough that I don't get burnt out on it. And I think that this is a pretty good medium, and also watching the blanket grow at this point is kind of an exciting reward in and of itself. I've also been winding this into cakes. For this one, I am using Lion brand Landscapes Breeze in the color Rainforest. I really like this yarn because it's like a cotton, or what is it? It's a modal acrylic blend with a little bit of wool thrown in. It's so soft, really easy to work with because it's a chainette construction. I'm using a 7mm hook for this to give me some good drape on the blanket. I think, again, his birthday is on Sunday, and I won't be seeing him until the evening because I'm actually playing a D&D game earlier that day. So, and I would love to send my mom's out come Friday. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work with my mom's, and we will make some progress on that. You're going to be seeing B-roll from yesterday, today, the day before yesterday. So it'll just be like a little bit of a hodgepodge of me crocheting and stuff. Huh, Pepper? Now you're making biscuits? Are you settling down now, my beloved? No? Okay. I'll figure out what to do with them, I guess.
entire top of the ziggurat structure.
Hey.
She is. Thick as hell. Okay.
So Mama, so young.
So I look at the beast and I'm like, she came with us.
The beast. And you, for the first time, are not this like sort of gulping, like, you know, you think back to the conversation you had in the castle and you're like, you're being rude, like, you're being rude. And as you say,
remember this? We used to just have fun. I used to just like get a shot at Rapunzel.
If you want to let the maneuvering attack get her closer to Rapunzel, I will allow that.
Hey, baby.
Sorry, no, she doesn't really have range things.
Yeah.
I'll just hold it.
Cool. You stay there in this moment with Elodie where she looks at you and sees, again, a vulnerability that I think...
Okay, I'm also gonna stop shaking, camera. I'm gonna ask you to indulge me because I need to show you my September rewards for Patreon because they're my favorite ones that I've ever made. So this is the postcard. Hang on, can you see it? Hang on. This is the postcard. I love it so much. Also, I'm wearing a compression glove for my crocheting. It's so cute. And I also really like the back. I think the back is really darling. I'm very, very proud of this. This is easily one of my favorite illos I've ever done. It's just, oh, I'm just so happy with it. I'm just so happy with it. And then, you're not ready for this sticker. This is the best sticker I've ever made. Look at him. So shiny and magical and beautiful and perfect. Look at him! Like, shut your mouth. I'm like so happy with these rewards. While I was doing the Artist's Way, I didn't finish the Artist's Way, but while I was doing it, I kind of had the epiphany. I had this epiphany before, but I guess I kind of locked into it. I really like doing line art, and I was like, why do I keep trying to do lineless work if I like line art so much? So I just was like, no, you know what? We're just gonna keep doing line art. So I'm just doing line art, and then I get to color everything in like a coloring book, and that's very fun for me. So I'm leaning into that more. And as a result, I'm so happy with how this turned out because I feel like the lines are still really like loose and organic. I actually held my Apple pencil like a little bit further up on the body of the pencil. So my hand was a little looser in drawing this. I'm just like really happy with both of these. And I think they look great. I think they look so good. So if you want to get these, join one of the art mail tiers on my Patreon before the end of the month. I'm sorry, it is such a sleepy day here in Seattle. I can't stop yawning. I've got a postcard tier, I've got a postcard only tier, I have a sticker only tier, and then I have my tangerine tier, which is both of these bad boys in one. So if you want to check out my Patreon, feel free to. Cool. Yeah, my hand has started hurting, but I'm gonna keep crocheting because I got to make progress on both of these gifts. So maybe I'll take a break from my mom's and work on Aries for a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep plugging away. So I only had 2 skeins left, so I'm actually packing them. I wound them, little cakes, and I'm packing them to take with me to the hair salon because I'm gonna be a brunette again in 3 hours. So, or however long my hair appointment takes. I know it's like the end of an era, and part of me is sad, but also I've been like trying on my favorite sweaters. They do not work with pink hair. It's a real shame. People are like, anything can work with pink hair if you're like, you just wear it with enough confidence. And I'm like, that's true, I think, to a degree. But also there are some sweaters that I have that I love that paired with this particular kind of pink that I have in my hair and combined with how pale I am, it's just not good, guys. Oh, Pepper, big stretch. Huh? Have you just been snoozing out here all night? Huh? So I'm gonna go into the hair salon to become a brunette again, which I'm actually kind of excited about. I'm kind of excited to have dark hair again. But I'm bringing along my mom's project because I actually think, depending on how long this appointment takes, I think I might be able to finish my mom's thing while I'm there. I am going to count the rows that I need to do just one more time to make sure. I also didn't know what to wear because I was like, well, because last time when I wore like a really cute shirt last time I was there when I got my hair bleached, and I ended up getting some bleach stains on the back of that shirt, which was a bummer. But, so I was like, okay, well, even if this gets like dark hair dye on it, I think it'll still be okay. So, I do still love this sweatshirt, but I think that it won't be as noticeable. So, yeah. Brought this with me so that I'll have something to do during my appointment, because I imagine my hair is going to have to process for a while, so. I'll say I'm not from around here, but I'm in my car and I see the yard. The patch of grass where we buried the dog. The world makes sense. I had chain link fence. If I could leave, I would have already left. I would have already left. So, I'm a brunette again. Honestly, the color is a little bit lighter than I wanted. There was for some reason, the dye reacted weirdly with my hair, so it didn't pull as warm as my hairdresser was expecting, and then when they tried to add a little bit of like a copper tinge to the ends, it actually brought forth my pink. So it's kind of this like sort of faded pink thing going on at the bottom, and then my hair isn't quite as dark as I want it to be, but I'm gonna be going in next Tuesday for a toning session. I also keep looking at myself in the mirror and I don't know if I hate it or not, and I think that's just because I have to get used to having dark hair again. I feel like I felt the same way when I dyed my hair pink. I was like, I think I hate it. Do I hate it? I don't know. Alas, I am currently doing a little bit of troubleshooting on, or not troubleshooting, but brainstorming on how I want to do my packing stuff for all of these orders from the shop update. I keep trying to be like, what is going to be the most like effective way? Because I'm not going to be, like, my computer isn't going to be in front of me as I'm packing. I won't be able to look at my computer for reference and then pull product. So what I think I'm gonna do is I kind of did this back in the day, I think. I pack in batches of 20 where I basically print out 20 packing slips and then I just pull based off of those. And I was like, I could either do packing slips that I then include with the order, or I could do packing slips that I use just for me, and then I can just recycle them afterwards and I don't have to use my thermal labels on them, because then I would have to buy twice as many thermal labels or shipping labels. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of brainstorming on that now, but I made a tiny bit of progress on my mom's poncho at the hair salon, so I'm gonna keep working on that because I'm so close to being done and I can see the end in the horizon, so I want to do that. I'm gonna be seeing Marion tonight. I packed up all of the September Patreon rewards for her to pack, so I printed off all of the shipping labels and everything. Or I printed off all of the address labels and everything. So I packed that up in bags to give to her when I see her tonight, because she and I are going to get dinner. We haven't gotten dinner in a hot minute because now we used to get sushi on Mondays, but now I'm taking pottery on Mondays, so things have moved around. She's also moving right now. So I'm gonna be doing, so I'm gonna be leaving here at about 6. Oh, it's 4:20, nice. So I'm gonna be leaving here at about 6 because I said that I'd meet her for sushi at 6:30. So I think for the next hour and a half, I'm just gonna crochet on the couch. I have a really bad headache, so I might make myself a cup of tea. Probably also just need to hydrate. So yeah, cool, great. Gambare. Sophie. Get up, baby.